How's it going, everybody? The Seer here, and I have a very special blog post to share with you guys. This blog post is about the player-created team, the Nightstalkers. Now, I didn't do a full look at this beforehand. I did a few peeks at it because I was kind of curious about it. Then I kind of decided, well, I just want to do this on camera with you guys. Kind of get more of a reactionary feel to this kit. Because we're going to be looking at the team itself. I'm going to show you guys how the polls happen as far as getting this team created. And then we're going to look at kind of a little theoretical, how good is this team actually going to be? Let's go ahead and check this out. So crime fighting is a 24-hour job, but some superpowered individuals do their best work when the sun goes down, like our newest team, the Nightstalkers. The best part about the Nightstalkers is this new squad was shaped through fan votes on our website by all of you. So all of us, if you guys aren't aware, they basically did polls earlier on in the year, starting back in, I think, April, on how this team would be shaped. And now we're actually going to see what the spoils of these victories that we had on this polls kind of amounted to. So for the result, we got the newest Marvel Strike Force character, which is Karen, a unique lore for the new MSF character as well, basically who was the mentor for them, and then squad mates shaped by our votes and lore. So all of this was created by us. I really hope they do this more in the future. Now, the team turned out amazing, so great job, everyone. We can't wait to work with all of you again in the future on another team. Karen Page won the fan vote for which character should be turned into a vampire. Karen Page, who adopted the superhero moniker Oath, is joined by the Daywalker himself, Blade, as well as Man-Thing and two upgraded strike veterans in Moon Knight and Agatha. So Agatha is confirmed here to get a rework. I'm really excited about that. She had a really cool kit, so I'm really excited to see how this is going to kind of shift over. I don't really think they need to do much with her. Just do a few tag callouts, give her the stat upgrades, because her kit was really cool. So the Nightstalkers was specialized in the Mythic raids. This is supposed to say Mystic. That's a typo there, I believe. But the team can also terrorize squads like Spider Society and the Extreme X-Men in Alliance War as well. That's asking a lot, because those teams in Alliance War, even without the buffs that Spider Society is getting, those are really good teams in war. So be prepared, the darkened corridors on helicarriers. Review the kits below and prepare to turn out the lights on enemies. Let's meet them. Before we do that, let's look at a quick history to see how this team was created first. So if we go back over here, initially we had to vote. Did we want Betty Brandt, who is the assistant to J. Jonah Jameson, Ben Urich, who is a reporter, or Karen Page, which everybody's basically voted for her, right? She basically is kind of the assistant to like the Daredevil TV show and everything. That's kind of what she's known for. And the same actress, Deborah Ann Wool, she was in True Blood. She was already a vampire. So it made sense. People voted for her because of that, right? The next vote that we had to do. Did we want to vote for Man-Thing or Werewolf by Night? Now, what they looked like was this. So, personally, I didn't care for the Werewolf by Night. I didn't care for, like, the pans. It just looked really weird. Man-Thing was a different type of character. So, I personally voted for Man-Thing. The last thing that we had to vote on was who we wanted the mentor to be, right? So, if we take a look at this over here, we had... basically the Elsa Bloodstone look, so she kind of had the crossbow thing going on. There was Morbius, basically make her look more like a vampire, or Dr. Voodoo. The Mystic Arts, I really liked the aspect. Morbius won outright for this one, as far as the mentor goes. It was just having another vampire in the game that can kind of fly, had wings. It looked pretty cool. I liked the look of Dr. Voodoo, though, personally, but I was happy with any of these. All three costumes look really cool. So that's kind of the lore as far as how we got this team to kind of come about. So let's go ahead and check out the kits. I'm not going to go into this lore part here, but Blade, he is a hero, city, mystic, brawler, vampire tag. That's interesting, right? Nightstalker and a speed of 127. I'm curious if they're going to get this vampire tag here to Morbius as well. That'd be kind of interesting. So for the basic, Silver Slash. Going to attack the primary target for 200% piercing, reduce the speed bar by 10%, repeat this attack once. So that's going to be 400% piercing, 20% speed bar reduction. This attack ignores defense up. It's unavoidable, cannot be blocked. I see Striker right off the bat. Doing a 30% turn meter rewind, that's powerful. Now, this is going to have an awakened ability, right? So this attack gains 20% extra crit damage is the awakened for the basic on here. Now, if we take a look down here, the ISO attack is going to do the same thing. So that's why I said Striker. A little bit less piercing damage. It's still going to do the extra crit if it's awakened, and speed bar reduction. The special, the Glaive Volley. It's cost of 4/4. Attack the primary and adjacent for 260% piercing. It will clear speed up, apply slow. It ignores defense up. It's unavoidable, cannot be blocked. Are all of his abilities going to do this? If so, that's pretty powerful, especially since this is piercing. Now, this is going to have an awakened, so it's going to clear one negative effect from all allies. It's going to clear all negative effects from themselves. So that's pretty powerful as far as an awakened being able to start cleansing on a 4/4 cost. The ultimate, it's going to be energy cost of 6/6, 290% piercing on the primary target, reduce speed bar by 25%, and if he's Striker, that's going to be another 10% on top of that. Steal 20% health from the target and redistribute to themselves. It bypasses heal block. Attack primary and adjacent for 320% piercing, reduce speed bar by 25%, clear immunity, apply disrupt for 2 turns. So attack primary for 290, reduce speed bar by 25%, steal 20% health. And then here, attack primary. Does this hit twice? That's kind of odd. Because why wouldn't they just put this in? This has to be like a double hit, right? So it's Dampier's Fury. Again, it's going to ignore defense up. It's unavoidable, cannot be blocked. So this is weird. So it's going to hit the primary, reduce speed bar, heal 20% health, and then it's going to hit again for 320, reduce speed bar again, clear immunity. So the primary is taking this, the primary and adjacent taking this. So the primary is getting a reduced speed bar by 50%. And then another 10% if you make him Striker. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. All right, this is going to have an awakened ability as well. The awakened portion on this part right here where it does primary and adjacent, it's also going to do blind for 2 turns. For the passive Daywalker, characters killed cannot be revived on a successful attack by this character. Clear defense up, apply defense down to each attack target. At the end of any turn, flip slow offense down to 2 random Nightstalker allies or self that has slow or offense down. This character's attack deal an additional 20% piercing to any vampire enemies. It's going to gain 30% drain. Nightstalker allies also get 30% drain. So that's going to be some pretty good sustain because all this stuff isn't locked behind anything. All this is everywhere. It's not locked in raid. He's a great character. Nothing is locked in raids. Sweet. Okay. Now for the awakened portion. On self or ally crit on the following turn, ally turn, gain assist now. So we may want to make several people raiders. This could make a case for him to be raider as well. That way he can keep getting the assist now portion of it. And also gain 10% crit chance, and allies gain 10% crit chance. I wonder if he's going to have a higher base crit chance as well. Because he is a 127 speed. So Oath, this is Karen Page. So she's going to be hero, city, mystic. She's a controller. She has the vampire tag and Nightstalker as well. The speed of it is 126. This is 1 point slower than Blade. Alright, so what does she have? Basic. Sanguine Strike. Attack primary for 260 piercing. Apply bleed and heal block. In raid, so there's a raid call out. Apply exposed to the primary target. So she's going to be dealing with exposed When forced to attack an ally, this character does not apply expose or any negative effects to the Night Stalker characters. So that's like a little bit of the Shadowland thing going on. This character cannot be, this attack cannot be counterattacked or dodged as well. Okay. And the ISO is going to do the same thing. So 185 piercing, and as you notice, she's piercing as well. Apply bleed and heal block as well. We really need that heal block in the Mystic raids too. So the special blood charge, energy cost 4/4. Steal 20% health from the primary target, redistribute to myself. This bypasses heal block. Apply ability block for 2 turns to the primary target. Attack primary and adjacent for 300% piercing. Apply 2 bleed and heal block. In raids, it steals 40% health from the primary target instead of 20. This attack cannot be dodged. So the reason they're doing this, where it's like steal health, is if you steal health, that usually doesn't trigger passive effects, like Thanos Endgame, having his passive go off on you. So if you can do like a health steal, that usually can bypass that type of effect. Which is why like Apocalypse's Falcon Punch and Phoenix's special, when she goes Dark Phoenix, it usually can bypass that type of stuff. So the ultimate Cardiac Assault. Energy cost is a 6/6. Attack all enemies for 300% piercing, 320% piercing, sorry. It will apply exposed, 2 bleed, and heal block to the primary target. In raids, instead, it applies 3 bleed and heal block and trauma to all enemies. That's powerful, that it goes from a single to everybody. For this part right here. Okay. This attack gains 20 plus 20% damage against enemies with Safeguard. Basically Gladiator. This attack cannot be blocked, counterattacked, or dodged. Okay. So for the passive, Vampiric Vow. On spawn on offense, fill speed bar by 5% for self and all allies. That's everywhere. Okay. On this character or any Night Stalker ally's turn end, attack the most injured enemy with exposed for 240% piercing. Reduce the duration of all positive effects by 1. They're playing more with the buff decays. Okay. Any positive effect that has a duration of 0 expires instantly, including Safeguard. So she's got a little bit of the Thanos thing going on with that exposed mechanic. Interesting. And this is on any Night Stalker ally's turn end. Okay. In raids, copy and clear 2 random negative effects from self and all Night Stalker allies to that exposed enemy. That's interesting. In raids, apply regeneration to self and all Night Stalker allies. On enemy death, generate 1 ability energy for self and all Night Stalker allies who are not full at oh my god, at full energy on start of turn. She is ridiculous. This right here is not locked in raids. Okay. In raids, fill speed bar by 25% for self and all Night Stalker allies. In raids, on spawn, generate 6 ability energy for self and all Night Stalker allies. On enemy controller turn, apply Safeguard to self and all Night Stalker allies. She is amazing. No joke, she is a very good character, and she's fast. She's 126 speed. And this is the new meta stats that we're in right now, where you're going to have crazy high power stats on these characters. Right off the bat, I already see value in Blade and her both. That might be a good 1-2 combo. Let's see what Man-Thing can do. So Man-Thing, 120 speed. Hero global, so he's a global character. Mystic Protector. That makes sense that he'd be global because he doesn't really hang in the city. He's just kind of like in the swamps type of thing. Basic, so Swamp Slam. Attack primary target for 280% damage, plus apply 1 slow, up to a maximum of 3. Apply bleed to any non-Daredevil target. So we actually asked about this. This is a call out to Man-Thing's kind of mantra. Basically, if you have fear, you're gonna bleed. Daredevil is the man without fear, right? So That's why he doesn't get bleed. So that's a really cool call out. It's not going to do anything. It's just a little bit of fluff, which I like. So also, gain 2 regeneration. Apply defense up to the most injured non-summon Nightstalkers ally without defense up. So that's a really good basic. I can see her Man-Thing being a striker for that, getting defense up to the characters. We'll see. Karen Page, I see her being a skirmisher. The fact that Karen, sorry that we're going back up here. The fact that Karen does all these bleeds, heal block, trauma, I see a lot of value with skirmisher for her just because of that. The ISO attack for Man-Thing, it's going to do a little bit less damage like usual. Now his damage is not piercing, and the ISO isn't pure piercing. It's just damage and then a little bit of piercing. So he's not going to be hitting too hard, it looks like. The fact it's going to be doing slow up to a maximum of 3, I do see Striker being really good for that. For the special, Entangle. Energy cost is a 4/4. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 370% damage. If any target has slow, apply stun to that target. Apply slow for 2 turns to the primary and adjacent targets. Clear all negative effects from self. Now in raids, clear all negative effects from all Nightstalker allies, and apply defense up to self and all Nightstalker allies. That's a pretty good ability. The fact that the slow into stun, that's kind of like that shield minion assault or security. I think it's the security can basically do the slow, and then if they slow, put stun on them. I actually really like that ability. The ultimate, Bog Bash. Energy cost is a 6/6. Attack all enemies for 400% damage and prolong the duration of all negative effects, excluding ability block, stun, trauma by 1. So he's going to be going last with that 120 speed. Just pepper them with negative effects and then just extend everything. Definitely has good value, especially at a 6/6. Karen's going to make it where that's going to, no matter what, start on turn 1 anyways. Apply slow for 2 turns to all enemies. In raids, clear disrupt from self and gain safeguard for 2 turns. That's good they're putting it in that order, because otherwise if disrupt is on him, he can't gain the safeguard. Gain taunt for 2 turns, so there's the taunt. Apply defense up for 2 turns to self and all Nightstalker allies. Clear 2 negative effects from self and all Nightstalker allies. Passive. Nexus Guardian. On spawn, if this character has 3 or more Nightstalker allies, gain taunt and immunity. On enemy turn end, bury yourself for 10% of this character's max health. While this character is above 50% health, this character cannot gain stun. When this character drops below 50% health, if this character has taunt, it will clear taunt, gain safeguard, and 3 regeneration, unless of course safeguard is already on him. Because if safeguard's on him, he can't drop the taunt. Gain 20% speed. Nightstalker allies gain 20% speed. That's everywhere. Well, it's 127, so yeah, that's an additional 24, almost 25 speed. So about 25 speed. So yeah, it's 152 speed for Blade. And 151 for Karen. That's fast without even having speed up. And then Karen makes it to where they get the fill speed bar by an additional 5%. This team's going to go fast. This team's going to go very fast. Before this character takes a turn, enemy protector characters cannot gain immunity. That's to take care of the gladiator. Before this character takes a turn, ability blocks cannot be applied to self or any Nightstalker allies. Wow. Have fun controlling this team in raids. Interesting. All right, let's go into Moon Knight. So we got a 250% health boost, 153 damage boost, 75% armor, 339 focus. That's a huge focus boost. And 390 resist. That's a huge boost. Very, very nice. So for his basic, it looks like they're just adding in the Nightstalker characters. So when forced to attack an ally, he's not going to deal damage to Nightstalker. It's a lot less. Special. Attack primary target for 360% damage, so that went up by 50%. Rebound chain from 3 to 5 all the way up to 6 to 7. And the adjacent targets take 290% damage. That went up by another 50 from 240. In raids, it cannot be counterattacked. That's a pretty good amount of rebound chain also. The ultimate, that's from above. So before it was in war, this attack clears all positive effects, right? So the new is if this character has 3 more Nightstalker allies, this attack clears all positive effects on each enemy. If this character has 3 more Nightstalker allies, this attack is also unavoidable. So we're already going to have Moon Knight and Agatha. So whoever the first character comes in, we can really start taking advantage of these kits. The passive, Fist of Khonshu. Before it was in war, while this character has counter, gain 50% damage. Now it's just going straight to he gains 50% damage. So that's a pretty nice boost to him, especially when his damage went to 153%. So that got a pretty good boost already. For Agatha, base stat increase, the health went up to 273. She was already pretty tanky. Damage went up by 207%. That's pretty good damage. Armor went up to 180%, so that's a very good jump on armor as well. The focus didn't get a big jump. That's 87% increase. The resist got up by 180 though. So for her, the basic used to do the it does that call a random adjacent Darkhold. They're adding the Nightstalker ally as well. So you're always going to want her on the bookend and putting somebody maybe like Blade adjacent, so that way she always calls Blade in for the assist. Now the ally that gets called is going to be doing 50% less damage, but it's still extra damage. The ultimate, again, it looks like they are just adding the Nightstalkers in. The ultimate was where it would bury herself in all Darkhold. Now it's Darkhold and Nightstalker. By 30%, this character's max health. And she got a very nice health boost of a plus 273%. For the passive, so let's look at the new. So yeah, it looks like they just added in the Nightstalker into the kit. So they really didn't need to do anything different to her kit. She had a very good kit anyways. So I'm actually very, very happy with this. But it does look like they are keeping the extra focus and drain as well in here. So even though they're trying to lean away from having these passive buffs in the passive to boost the team, it looks like they didn't take that away from Agatha. But if we do look, this is going to be an extra 25% drain on Agatha. And there was also drain on another person's kit up here, if I recall. I believe it was in here. Where's the drain? Not there. The drain was in Blade's kit. So this team's going to have a 55% drain with Blade and Agatha together. So that's very good. Speed-wise. So Agatha, I want to say, was around the 120 mark as well. Moon Knight, I think, was pretty fast. But that was usually due to like a speed up. I believe this is going to be a pretty fast team, though, especially with getting the speed bar that Oath is going to end up giving to the team. So theoretically, I can definitely see how this team would be able to take out the Extreme X-Men and Spider Society. This is easily going to auto over the current Mystic raids. So I'm wondering if this is going to be like a first strike that we currently have for the Orcus raid, and they're going to end up doing a higher difficulty because we keep getting those first strikes for like the Doom and the Incursion, and then the actual raid comes out where it's more difficult. They have to do something like this with both new raid teams already coming out. So I definitely see that coming in the future. If not, I'm going to be shocked. Now, is this team going to be more offense or defense? I can see it being offense where it's going to be able to take out a lot of things. The one thing that you want to take note of was the passive, where it was the ability energies that Oath gives. The Vampiric Vow. Generate 1 ability energy for self and all Nightstalker allies who are not full. I could see this, and this is on enemy death, like anywhere. I could see this being on defense. If you don't one-shot it, you have to at least take out Oath. Otherwise, they're going to be having more ability energies at the start. Their cooldowns aren't ridiculous. It's 4 and 6s across the board for Oath, 4 and 6 for Blade. This team does not have long cooldowns. You need to take out Oath if you see them on defense. Otherwise, you're walking into abilities right off the bat. Man-Thing looks interesting. I think his ultimate's pretty powerful. How it's going to be prolonging negative effects after he goes, since he's going to be last on the board. There's no on-spawn taunt. So that does... Nope, on-spawn, if there's 3 or more, gain taunt and immunity. So you're going to be able to use Spider-Man Big Time to take that off, or Void Knight or somebody to basically flip that, depending on the resist that he's going to have on himself. This is a really good team, though, inside and outside of raids. I'm very excited. I'm very happy that this team is going to perform everywhere. The added bonus that everything in Blade's kit. So if we look at Blade, nothing in his kit says in raid. Yeah, nothing in this kit says raid. So Blade, he's going to be a very good plug and play character. I could see where you'd want to use him and maybe Oath together. Oath being able to play with the exposed mechanic, and the fact that with exposed, attack the most injured and basically start knocking down all of the positive effects. I could see her running around with Thanos Endgame. Put those two together. Thanos Endgame will be able to put exposed out as well. If he gets pushed, he's going to knock off all the buffs. He's able to put the exposed out, and his exposed gives ability energy. So I definitely see a lot of plug and play value, a lot of theory crafting that you can do with this team. The fact the Annihilators, you don't need all 5 of them together. You just need like the 3 new ones. Gore, Gladiator, Thanos Endgame, throw Oath with them, throw Blade with them. You can do a lot of cool things with this team. I'm very excited. Hopefully you guys are too. I kind of went a little overboard as far as talking about this team. I just really like this team, guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please remember to give this video a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you like these more live reactionary ones, let me know in the comments. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Until next time, bye guys.